Hello and welcome to what is probably going to be the last week of maple syrup making in 2025. Now, unfortunately, I say that because the weather just doesn't look very good. There's one day of below freezing, so we're probably done. Now, with any luck, the apps will be wrong. But considering it's been fairly consistent, probably not. Tomorrow night is supposed to get cold enough to reset the trees, so that'll probably help with Wednesday, maybe into Thursday. After that, the trees will probably just dry out. That next Monday looks okay, maybe. It's a little far away to say for sure. We might get a little run then, but the trees are just gonna bud out and be done. But I'm not gonna stop pulling sap until it turns. So we might keep making videos and we might be done this week. Guess we'll have to wait to find out. Right now I have 3.5% in the tank. Got about 200 gallons sitting up there. Well, with what I haven't cooked off yet. I've already pulled off a little bit on the first firing. We did really good on our startup today. We had some good dry wood on us, so we had a good startup. We're almost ready to pull off again. This thing's jumping like crazy. Love to see that. Last night I was complaining about how long it took last week's video, and I guess last night took a little over 4 hours, closer probably to 4.5 hours to cook. About exactly what I had tonight. And tonight took me like 3.5, not quite 4 hours. So it definitely took me longer, but it is what it is. We have just a little bit left up there. I put a little bit of wood in the stove to keep her hot try to get that in. We'll see if my wood guesstimation's correct or not. I'm really loving these float boxes. Everything just sits right where it's supposed to be. Finally getting my dial figured out. So I'm pulling off good syrup. Still got a good run in back here. Been running this at about 2 inches cooking. And we're getting there. I did end up with close to, we'll say, that's a little over 5, I believe. And we got probably 1.5 gallons there, and probably 1.5 gallons in here. So 5, 6, 7, 8 gallons. That's not bad for a night. I've had one night with a little bit more, but can't get what you don't have, so we'll get this finished up and we'll see what the rest of the week brings. It's the next day and we're back. Just before I came over, I took the dog for her walk, and maple tree in the yard looks like it's probably got super buddy sap on it, but that tree right there, that doesn't look like it's hardly done anything. So let's hope we have more of those trees than the ones I do at home. Let's come over here to woods number 1 tank and see what we're looking at. Oh yeah, 2.5 bars, that ain't bad. Got 18 inches of vacuum at 62 degrees. It's definitely not running into the tank. Let's go up and check these vacuum gauges on the low side of this dam. If it's not running, there's no point in going up in the woods. Well, they are still running. Got 10 and 12, 14, 10 and 14. Better than I was expecting. I figured they'd be done by now. They'll do better here tomorrow morning because it's supposed to get down to 30 tonight, so hopefully it gets a little colder out here in the country from wherever the heck the app's taking its temperature from. But even 30 will work. I just like it to be 28 like it was calling for yesterday, but it is what it is. Let's go see what the other woods are doing. Well, instead of going to the other woods, I put sticks and took care of some of the sags and this main line here. I came back up here because I was gonna see if the vacuum increased, but that one went up a little tiny bit and that one stayed about the same. So I don't think it really helped my vacuum, but there's not sap sitting in those lines anymore and I feel better about it. Now let's go to the other woods. Woods number 2 is looking nice. Still got some sap flowing in here. From here it still looks pretty clear, which is a good sign. Too much wind. Let's see here. Says we don't have much vacuum on it. I already checked the filter. That looked clean enough. Let's go up into the woods and whoa, see what those bottom gauges look like. Because just because the pump doesn't say it's doing anything doesn't mean it's not getting anything up here. Well, that screen has some goo in it, but not enough to plug it. But I did find, you can see right here, this gasket doesn't look like it was sitting in there quite right. So we'll get it cleaned up, put back together, and see if we can get some vacuum on this real quick. Alright, well, that's running and playing catch up. We'll run down here to woods number 3, see how that looks, and then we'll come back and check this one again. And this is why I say woods number 2 is always such a disappointment. This is woods number 3. It has 67 taps on it, and we're just about 2 bars. Woods number 2 has probably 110, 120 taps on it, and it's just over 2 bars. Probably 2.5 bars, maybe. Just a disappointment, but last night these bubbles were running backwards. This one's always so hard to film. But at least today they're running in the right direction. See what the vacuum is. 10, it's not bad. So with all 3 woods together, we have just over 250 gallons, probably probably close to 300 gallons. Which we'll run that through the RO, put it in the stove, get it cooked off. I want to check a few more of these vacuum gauges. Got one right here, we'll run up and check quick. That one's close enough to the pump. If it's pulling 10, this one should be pulling 10. This one doesn't have much of a chance of picking up any gravity, so should be 10 or maybe a touch over. Well, that's impressive. I didn't figure that would pick up that much gravity vacuum, but I'll definitely take it. Let's go see how woods number 2 is looking now that we have that gasket fixed. Boy, I thought this one was over 2 bars for some reason, and just for level, it's at 2 bars. So 67 taps matches up with 120 taps. Not good. That's better. I do think the biggest problem over here is just the little stuff. Always. Last year was squirrel holes. This year it's the filter on the pump. It's just always something little. Gets me every time. And we're cooking again. I believe this is cook number 6. We are almost done. And I was planning on making this clip a while ago, but I lit the fire and probably 45 minutes later, I was already drawing off. And it's been a mad dash since. Either drawing off, fighting foam, getting wood, feeding the fire. It's been go, go, go. It is what it is. It's great. We got sugar in the pan. We're doing fine. We have a little bit left in there. The sap in the tank was sitting just above 4%. We just can't hit that 4%. It seems to elude us all year. Maybe next year. Maybe tomorrow. We'll get it. But right now, we got our 2 inches in the back. Our 1.5 inches in the front. 1,000 degrees on the stack. That'll get a little bit warmer. I just fed it, I don't know, maybe 3-4 minutes ago. And I accidentally let it get a little bit too cool, so it's got some warm up to do. Not that big of a deal. That fan on the back of it really gets that air pushing through there, gets that fire rip roaring. Good to go. Oh look, it's time to pull off again. I think I need a 2 or 3 inch nipple on here and maybe a little bit of a splash guard. I really want to get this cleaned up this year and not have it happen again. And we're back for day 3 of this video. I have not been over to check the tanks yet, but we got down to 29 degrees last night. So hopefully that was a good reset and we got a good run today. Let's go take a look. Well, that's a little rough. You can see 1 bar down there. Let's take a look at the vacuum and see what we're pulling. And I got just above 20 inches, 64 degrees. I got time to kill today, so we might as well take a walk and look at all of the vacuum gauges. Not terrible. I think it's about the same as yesterday. Both of them. Definitely have better flow on both of them. That one's got probably probably close to a 3-foot lift on it, so it loses some vacuum there, but that's all right. It's more than if it was just gravity, so we'll take it. Let's walk up top and check the other 2. Almost 22 on this low run. We'll take that. At least we know we're getting good vacuum on the trees, and we'll get everything that the trees can give us. Up here at my last trees, I was kind of surprised to see I had this much movement in this line, but I shouldn't be. These trees have always put out like crazy. We've never tested the sugar content of them to know how much sugar they're putting out, but they put out gallons of sap. We're a little low on this one. That's usually my highest run, or my highest vacuum. But considering it's not running great because of the warm weather we've been having, I'll take, what was it, 24? It's better than nothing. Let's go down, check. Let's go to woods number 2 next. Alrighty, down here in tank number 2. This one's doing better than I was expecting it to. We've got a little tiny bit over 1 bar, I would say, if it was level. Ooh, it's running in good. Oh, sure, as soon as I walk, there we go. Boy, I like seeing that. Let's check vacuum. Oh, nice, nice. 15. We'll take 15. Now, that Inkbird said it was only 53 degrees, so we'll have to check and see where the thermometer's at on the other one. Not that it really matters, because good chance this is going to be the last day of the season. There's another cold spell, maybe 4 to 5 days away, but I don't think the trees will wait that long. I think we're probably done. We might be pulling bud sap then, so we'll see. Let's go check these low and high gauges. Yeah, buddy. And that's right before the 3/4. Check these gauges right here. Yeah, one's at 10, one's at 12. They always lose a little bit of vacuum on this rise, but a lot of it's made up in the gravity getting pulled down. So maybe someday I'll have better vacuum and I can figure a way around all of that. And of course, the very first lateral would have a leak on it. The squirrels must really like this corner, especially, oh, where's that tree at? I bet you it's at that leaking tree. Always have a hole there. Whatever. It's the last day. Probably. It's too late now, but I should have made these main lines different colors. I might have to look and see if they have different colored T's or something. I don't think I've ever seen them, but if I could get a different color T or a Y and replace them so I know which line I'm working with, that would help. Maybe if I get some real vacuum, I'll go to 3/4 up here again and not have to worry about it, but I've got enough stuff stuck on these lines that I'm just not sure what's on what anymore. Oh yeah, 22 on this low run, even with that leak on the very first lateral, is extremely good for this one. I think I might have hit that 1 or 2 days last year. And I think I've been fairly consistent with it all season this year, so we'll take it. And the last one on this one is at 26. Again, we'll take it. Normally 28, but we'll blame it on it's not running extremely well. I don't know. Might be a hole. We'll blame it on the lack of run. Let's go check Woods 3. We're gonna start at the top of Woods 3 because we're already here, so no point in walking down and coming back. 12 inches isn't bad. We'll take that for a new run with way less taps on it. Let's go down and check the pump. I should point out that this ravine has tons of slope going straight down, but being that these trees are so far apart, I lose a lot. Like this is, I think, at 1% most of the way, and then like from that tree down increases slope, and then it goes back to flat. It's all got grade to it going down, but it's nothing great. There's probably between 1 and 3, maybe 5%. So like I said, it's got slope, but it's nothing great. I was going into the tank okay. Not a ton there, but we got some. 12, 13. We'll take it. It's better than losing vacuum between the pump and the top of the hill. Let's go check this one last vacuum gauge. Then we'll get these tanks pumped out and get cooking. Why does this short run always have more vacuum than anything else? I mean, I'm not complaining. I'd like to know why. Unfortunately, I mean, this does only have 2 taps on it, but nothing's really running here. I guess it's moving a little bit. Maybe we'll let it run a little bit before we start collecting. If it's still moving, no point in pulling it out of the tank and having just a little tiny bit left in there. We'll let it run a little bit longer. I got pump duty first time this year. Wonder if that means Dad's gonna cook tonight. Well, we had a little over 3 bars in the tank. We are getting a way earlier start than normal. We didn't RO any of this, so it's probably sitting at, ooh, we'll guess 1% right now. We'll go up and check it later. Firebox is full. I gotta get these pans off. We'll get it lit, and we'll get cooking. Does that mean? Yes, it does. It got cold again last night. and it ran like crazy. We definitely should have got the RO running, but we didn't. So I am currently working on cooking down an entire IBC tote of 1% stout. Probably should have thought that one through, but it is what it is now. So we just gotta cook it. And that's it for this video and this cook. It's supposed to be too warm for the next 2 days, so I probably won't film anything then. Maybe we'll get a nice cold snap, get the trees reset. Maybe the buds won't be out yet. We'll see how it goes. So either the next video is going to be cooking or cleaning. We'll see how the next couple days go, and I'll see you then. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day. Oh yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. See you later.